Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. I'll never forget in 2001, someone objected to what I was saying and they said, "Hey, it's the 80s. Well, you would think it is the 80s. There's so much 80s nostalgia going on, and so much of what was cool in the 1980s is cool once again. And certainly that can apply to music. Grammy award-winning legends Boy George and Culture Club are embarking on a major 2018 U.S. headline tour, touring with the multi-platinum selling band the B-52s and special guest Thompson Twins Tom Bailey. The live tour, starring Boy George and Culture Club, will be at the Reno Event Center on September 22nd. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com or call 1-888-288-1833. Presented by The Row and Harrah's Reno. Now it's time for today's episode of Rocky Jordan. The original air date, March the 27th, 1949, and this one is Everything Shipshape.
Time now for Rocky Jordan. Not far from the Mosque Sultan Hassan in Cairo stands the Cafe Tambourine, run by Rocky Jordan. The Cafe Tambourine, crowded with forgotten men, alive with the babble of many languages. For this is Cairo, where modern adventure and intrigue unfold against a backdrop of antiquity. Tonight's story, Everything Shipshape.
There's nothing very exciting about the postman's morning visit to my Cafe Tambourine. The usual stack of bills, an ad for a new brand of Bolognaci, maybe, a copy of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. But this particular mail delivery brought something else, a business-sized envelope bearing a Syrian stamp. The letterhead inside carried the heading, Ship and Shape Enterprises, Beirut, Syria. And below, a curt message, arrive in Cairo Thursday. Please arrange appointment at your cafe, 3:45 p.m. that day. Signed, Joshua Ship. So I wasn't a bit surprised when at exactly 3:45 p.m. the following Thursday, a little man sporting a cane and waxed mustache darkened the Tambourine's front door. He gave the place a quick once-over, nodded his approval, and he came directly back to my office, put down his briefcase, and wiped the sweatband of his derby hat with a silk handkerchief.
Mr. Rocky Jordan?
Yeah, that's right. How are you, Mr. Ship?
Ah, you are right, Mr. Jordan. Joshua Ship. Excellent, thank you. Wonderful air trip from Beirut.
You're right on time.
Never keep a man waiting. Policy. Well, now that we're off on the right foot, shall we get right down to business?
It depends on what you're selling.
Selling, my man, selling? I can see you don't realize the importance of my visit.
Suppose we get at it. Sit down, Mr. Ship.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. One moment, please.
Oh, by the way, how's Mr. Shape?
Shape?
Of Ship and Shape.
Oh, the letterhead, of course. Oh, stationery, Mr. Jordan. Unfortunately, Mr. Shape is no longer with us.
Carry on, Mr. Ship.
Ah, yes, of course. Now, Mr. Jordan, I represent a client, one A.K. Kesak.
Kesak? I don't recognize the name.
Quite true, Mr. Jordan. New in Cairo. I'm sure you will find doing business with my employer most profitable.
Just what does AK want?
Ah, now we get to the matter at hand. At A.K. Kesak's authorization, I am commissioned to buy your Cafe Tambourine.
Who said I wanted to sell?
We have discussed the matter with no one.
Sorry, Mr. Ship. Just tell AK I like the place. Tambourine's not for sale.
Tut, my good man. You just go ahead and take a thorough inventory, your equipment, spirits, food, tangible and intangible assets, set your price, then double it.
Just like that.
But we must have your answer quickly. I'll give you 24 hours to think it over, sir. 24 hours.
Not a minute more?
That is my deadline, sir. Ah, my address, of course. Joshua Ship. 394 Esbekia Plaza, Bungalow 6. Good day, sir.
Joshua Ship hoisted his derby, thumped it with his finger, and set sail through the Tambourine and out into the street. Well, I figured I'd had my kicks for the day and settled down to some paperwork in the office. It was just a few minutes later when I noticed somebody else coming through the tables toward my office. She could have been pretty, only her thin face was too tight, like a knot that needed untying, and her eyes had that wild look. I knew right then she was the kind of company I didn't want. Chris moved over from the bar.
Hold on, lady. Where you going?
Where did he go? Where is he?
Just take it easy. We don't want no trouble.
Don't you touch me. Keep out of my way.
Okay, Chris, I'll take over. Better watch the bar.
Sure, Rocky. Guess you had one too much.
I have not been drinking. I know what I'm doing. Where is that man?
There are no customers in the office, lady.
I know he came to see you. Tell me where that man is, or I'll...
Look, the door stays open.
Now listen to me. You will listen to me.
What's the idea? Put away that gun.
Don't you dare touch me. Now for the last time, where is he? Where did he go?
Depends on who you're looking for.
Joshua Ship.
He's not here. What do you want with him?
I'm going to kill him.
Oh, get some sense, will you?
And I'll kill you or anyone else who tries to stop me. I will shoot.
I don't argue with hysterical women holding guns. But suppose you tell me what this is all about.
I followed them all the way from Beirut, and I won't stop till I get them.
You're from Beirut, too?
Yes. Now, do you believe that I know what I'm doing?
Maybe I did. Who are you?
Ask Joshua Ship who I am. Ask him if he remembers Drina Ritar. Then tell him. Tell him I'm going to kill him. Tell him.
He left here just a few minutes ago.
Where did he go?
I don't know. Now listen, Drina.
Maybe you're no better than he is, and I don't care. But I'll tell you this, Rocky Jordan. No, stay back.
Sorry, Drina.
Give me that gun.
Not a chance.
Give it to me. Oh, please, please.
Yeah, that's better. Suppose you sit down and tell me what this is all about.
Rocky, don't sell the tambourine to that man.
You know a lot, don't you? It's your interest, Drina.
Just don't sell. They'll do the same to you as they did to my husband.
Husband? All right, let's have it. What are you talking about?
I can't. Jonathan, he's...
What about Jonathan?
Oh, please. I can't talk.
Getting sense out of an hysterical woman is not one of my big points, so I stopped trying. I kept her gun in my pocket, got her address, and put her in a taxi for home. But it made me want some more conversation with Joshua Ship. So I sat down and figured out a price I was sure no one in their right mind would accept. Then I went over to his place on Esbikia Plaza. It was a real nice setup. Big fountain out in front, acacia trees along the tile walk. I found Bungalow 6, and Ship answered my buzz.
Well, Mr. Dalton, come in.
Thanks. I've been thinking over your proposition, Mr. Ship.
Fine, my man, fine. You came even sooner than I expected.
I do lots of surprising things.
Well, now, if you name your price for the tambourine...
Just a minute, Mr. Ship. I'd like to deal directly with the client.
Well, AK is very busy, you know, very busy.
Too busy to swing an important deal like this? Then so am I.
Oh, no. I am not be hasty. AK happens to be waiting in the next room.
Just tell the big boss. I want to ask a few questions.
Oh, yes, of course. One moment, Mr.
Joshua Ship stepped into the next room and spoke a few words. I waited just a few seconds. Then I met A.K. Kesak. Naturally, I expected A.K. to be a man. I was never so wrong in my life. She was all woman, from the tips of her lacquered fingernails to the French perfume that rocked the room and Rocky Jordan. She let the doorway frame her sleek figure, and I wondered if she mightn't have been the shape of the firm of Shipshape. Any minute, I expected a Rye Crisp sign to light up over her head. She looked me over like a champ looks over the contender in the first round.
This is a pleasure.
Unexpected pleasure, Miss Kesak.
Yes, isn't it? Please, sit down.
Thanks. After you, lady.
Now that we've met, Rocky, I'm quite sure we can do business.
Yeah. We'll get along real cozy.
Yes. Now then, my dear, shall we get on with the deal? Mr. Jordan has...
Joshua, there's no hurry.
But I'm sure there is, my dear. You see?
By the way, Rocky, Joshua told me you are not interested in selling your cafe. Why did you change your mind?
A lot of reasons, maybe, including a couple of people named Drina and Jonathan Ritar.
Friends of yours?
I was about to ask the same question.
Well, neither here nor there. Now, Mr. Jordan, your price for the tambourine.
£10,000 cash.
Well, my dear?
Write him a check, Joshua.
Wait a minute. I said £10,000. That's 40,000 American dollars.
You add very well, Rocky. What else can you do?
I will prepare a bill of sale. We want to take possession of the tambourine immediately.
Why the hurry?
Oh, don't be surprised, Rocky. Your cafe is ideal for our purpose. Your price is high, but we'll make it back quickly. On the dice tables alone.
Dice table?
Of course. Don't tell me you object to the tambourine being used as a gambling casino.
Oh, not especially, as long as I'm out of it.
Out of it, Rocky? Oh, but surely you told him, Joshua.
Hey, wait a minute. Told me what?
Perhaps I didn't make myself clear, Mr. Jordan. A necessary part of the deal is that you remain at the tambourine.
We supply the money and the know-how. You supply your good name, Rocky.
You mean I front for your gambling setup? Not in your life.
At a good salary, of course. Say, £100 a week.
It's no deal.
Not so fast, Mr. Jordan. Refuse and you get nothing.
Okay, let's keep it that way.
We do not like our time wasted, Mr. Jordan.
Wait, Joshua. Rocky changed his mind once. I think he will change it again.
I wouldn't count on it, lady.
As I said, I'm quite sure you and I can do business. Goodbye, Rocky.
She said it like she expected to see me again real soon. I walked out to the street wondering if she actually thought I was a sucker for that sort of a deal. I wondered something else. Neither Joshua Shipp or Miss Kesak had batted an eye when I mentioned Drina and her husband's name. But I still wasn't sure. I couldn't go back to the tambourine till I'd satisfied my curiosity about Drina. So I dropped in on Captain Sam Sabaya at Cairo Police Headquarters to see what he knew.
Jordan, how do you manage to pick up such unusual freight?
What have you got on her, Sam?
Only what the Beirut police authorities have told me.
Police? What's their interest?
A dispatch from Beirut arrived this morning. They suggest that we keep an eye on her. She is a wild one.
What else do they say?
Jordan, what possible interest do you have in this case?
Just curious, Sam.
Curious. Very well. This Drina Ritar became involved in serious trouble in Beirut. Her husband is now in prison.
For what?
Murder.
Slow down.
They didn't go into detail. It seems that Drina and her husband Jonathan ran a cafe on the Beirut waterfront. There was some talk of gambling in connection with it.
Gambling. What else?
Well, there is little more. There was a fight there. A man was killed. Jonathan Ritar was convicted and sent up for several years.
Who'd he kill?
Well, the dispatch does not say. But be that as it may, we suspect that Drina is in Cairo to make trouble. She is being watched.
If that's all you have, Sam, thanks.
Jordan, one moment. Could it be that you are in danger from this lady?
What gave you that idea?
Well, Jordan, it's most unusual for you to be carrying a gun. That bulge in your coat pocket.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's a gun. I've got a permit.
Oh, yes, of course. Please let me see it.
Sure, yeah. Look it over.
Rather light for you, Jordan. Italian made. Where'd you get it?
Sam, is this a shakedown?
I, too, am a curious man. Needs oiling.
So does that chair of yours, Sam. How about the gun?
Oh, yeah. Here you are.
Thank you.
And about this Drina, Jordan, remember, if she makes trouble, the police will take care of her.
Well, Sam didn't give me much, just enough to help me decide to drop Drina, Kesak, Shipp, and the whole business. I had a few things to do at the tambourine, so I wandered back that way. When I got there, a side of Turkish beef stood blocking the entrance.
You will stay outside, Mr. Jordan.
Move the body, mister.
I warn you, I am a very mean man.
I'd get tough someplace else.
I am instructed to get tough right here, so don't try to go in.
That's right, Tonto. We don't want Jordan around the tambourine.
Oh, Joshua Shipp. This knuckle boy working for you?
Quite right.
And get him out of my doorway.
Not your doorway, Jordan.
You're driving at.
You just sold Tambourine to A.K. Kessack and me. You don't live here anymore. We don't want you around.
Look, I told you the deal was off. Now get this overgrown camel out of my door.
Stop it, Thomas.
I will do. I'm very dangerous. Man!
Now, Jordan, get it straight. The deal's closed. We deposited the £10,000 in your bank account, and the bill of sale is complete with your signature.
Or a reasonable facsimile.
It'll do for now. So give me a forwarding address, and I'll send you your clothes.
What makes you think I'm going anywhere?
I took care of that, too. Here's a bonus, Jordan. Plane ticket to Rio de Janeiro.
For me?
That's right. You say it's wonderful there this time of year.
Supposing I like Cairo better.
Cairo can get hot, Jordan. Extremely hot.
You are listening to Everything Shipshape, tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan. The Accused is coming to CBS listeners Monday night. Loretta Young, Robert Cummings, and Wendell Corey will bring this unusual psychological drama to life in all its stark reality. Don't miss the hour-long absorbing story on CBS Radio Theater at 6 Monday night. Now we return you to Cairo and tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan, Everything Shipshape.
After I refused to front for a gambling setup in my cafe, a couple of characters from Beirut named A.K. Kessack and Joshua Ship got real busy. They faked a bill of sale for the Tambourine, deposited a lot of money to my account in the bank, planted a big Turk in front of my place to keep me out. To top it off, Ship handed me a plane ticket to Rio de Janeiro, told me to clear out. Ordinarily, that'd be a nice, juicy job for the police. But first, there were a few angles I wanted to handle myself. So I got moving. Not to Rio, but to see Drina, the girl who had warned me not to sell the Tambourine. Safari had given me part of her background, but I wanted the rest from her. She had a clean room in a little hotel along the Sharia Najim. When I knocked, she cracked the door and opened it.
Oh, Rocky, come in.
Who are you hiding from, Drina? The police?
I know they're following me, but I'm not hiding from them. Let them wonder what I'm doing in Cairo.
I'd like to know myself.
I told you to kill Joshua Ship and that woman with him.
Why?
Didn't I explain?
You never got around to it. Suppose you cut out the dramatics this time and set a few things straight, huh?
What are you trying to find out, Rocky?
Who did your husband
He killed no one. Jonathan is no murderer.
The Beirut police could give you quite an argument.
Get out, Rocky. Go on, sell the Tambourine to whoever you like. See what happens. Oh, I'm sorry I tried to warn you.
Wait, Drina. Why not give it to me your way?
Oh, you wouldn't believe me.
Maybe I would. Let's have it.
Oh, very well. Well, Jonathan and I had a little restaurant near the Beirut waterfront. One day he was approached by this Kessack woman and her two associates, Joshua Ship and Aaron Shape.
Ship and Shape.
Yes. Shape was the #1 man with her then. They offered my husband a large sum of money for our cafe, for a gambling setup. Jonathan was well known and liked in Beirut, so he was to front for the syndicate. Does this all sound familiar, Rocky?
Yeah. Go on, Drina.
Well, a short time later, Aaron Shape was killed in our cafe, but not by my husband.
Who did it?
A.K. Kessack. I'm sure of it, Rocky.
Only they planted it on your husband, right?
Yes. Yes, both the woman and Ship testified that they saw my husband fire the gun. Well, he didn't have a chance.
Why would Kessack want to get rid of her top man?
He was getting a little too big. Besides, she was tired of him. You see, she always gets tired of him. After that, Joshua Ship moved in.
And you're out to get them both. You think that'll help get your husband out of prison?
All I know is I've been able to think of nothing but killing them. Oh, now I don't know what to do.
Look, Drina, I've got some things to settle with them, too. The best way I can check on them is to go along with the deal.
But I told you what would happen.
Not if I keep ahead of them. You better stay right here. I'll let you know how it's going. She put up some more argument, but she agreed to my plan when she learned how Ship had moved in on the Tambourine. Sam Sabaya might have worked out my end of the deal without too much trouble, but not Drina's. So I went back for another chat with A.K. at her bungalow on Esbikia Plaza. Somebody must have expected me because the side of beef wearing a fez was right outside the door.
So, Mr. Jordan, you not smart and fly to Rio.
Delayed takeoff, Turner. Look, you're still in my way.
I stay in your way. You not go in.
Want to take bets on that?
You find out I'm very dangerous man.
Well, we compare muscles sometime. Move over, Man Mountain.
I not. So now we make big fight. I get me.
Turn off. Let him come in.
Mr. Ship say keep this kelp out.
I wish him to come in. Run along now, Tarnoff. Him shape.
Listen, AK, my dear. Do you think this is best?
I have no objection to Rocky's visits, Joshua.
Yeah, you're here too, Mr. Ship. That's fine. Now we can all talk.
Everything is settled, Jordan. You wanted out of the organization. We left you out. Why did you come here?
To return the plane ticket.
Plane ticket. What is this, Joshua?
Why, I didn't think it necessary to tell you, my dear.
Save the cover-up, Ship. Anyhow, you got me convinced. I'm ready to team up with you.
Too late, Jordan. You had your chance.
Wait, Joshua, let me decide. So now you want in, Rocky. I think you are very smart.
Yeah, smart. Okay, I'll front for you, Racket. But get this. I'm no patsy for either of you, the way Jonathan Rattar would.
Jordan, what are you talking about?
Cut it, Ship. You know who killed your partner, Shape, just as much as I do. And it wasn't Jonathan. Just don't try setting me up the same way.
Stop, my man. If you are in trouble...
Joshua, Rocky's only being frank. I like him that way. Now run along like a good boy. I have a few private things to discuss with Rocky.
Now look here, my dear. I see no
Don't
reason...
forget your gloves and cane, Joshua, and hurry along.
Very well, my dear. I'll see you later, Mr. Jordan.
Well, Hakey?
I just thought we might drink to our new partnership. Bourbon?
Straight. But easy on the knockout drops.
Are they necessary, Rocky?
I wouldn't know.
No. To you and to me.
Just where does your ship come in?
It doesn't. Not anymore. Drink, Rocky.
Yeah, beats the liquor at the Tambourine.
We'll change that, too. Won't we? Yeah. Another?
No, save it till we have more time.
Going? So soon, Rocky.
Yeah, a few things to clear up at the Tambourine, AK. See you later. When I got outside, just as I expected, Joshua's Ship was waiting for me up by the fountain. He stood there tapping his cane on the tile walk till I was alongside. Then Ship tacked to the starboard, full sail, and stood with his feet wide apart.
A moment, Mr. Jordan.
Well, we'll get everything settled, Mr. Ship. Not a thing to worry about.
Plenty for you to worry about, my man.
Tut.
Enough, Mr. Jordan. I demand to know your intentions toward Miss Kessack.
We all take our turns, don't we? It was your partner, Shape, first, wasn't it? Before she killed him?
I'm quite aware that Alan Shape held her affections. I'm also aware that AK tires quickly, as she did of him.
Why confide in me?
Because I want you to know that I will not give her up so easily.
Look, Joshua, this is all very interesting.
You will keep away from her, Mr. Jordan. This is a warning.
Maybe this is something for her to decide. Why not go to AK and talk it over?
We most certainly shall. I'm going to lay down the law to her immediately. We'll have it out once and for all.
Ah, good boy. And when you talk to her, be sure to take off your hat. I couldn't resist the temptation, so I reached over and thumped his derby with my finger. He grabbed for it and gave me a dirty look. It was just a little insurance to keep him in a fighting mood. Well, I did want to get back to the Tambourine, but Drina's place wasn't far out of the way, so I stopped by to keep her posted.
Well, Rocky?
I was hoping there'd be a weak link in the setup, Drina, and I think I've found it.
Oh, Joshua Ship?
Yeah. He's got something in his mind besides gambling. Her name is A.K. Kessack.
Yes, I know. He's insanely jealous of her.
Well, I'm going to go work on that. Sooner or later, he'll do something to break it up. Maybe try to get me out of the way.
What happens then?
Just wait and see. So far, my plan seems to be working.
Rocky, do you trust me?
Sure, Drina. Why?
Then perhaps you'd let me have my gun back?
You can have it.
Well,
wait a minute.
Don't you have it?
Come on. The only way I could get out of my pocket was for somebody to take it out.
But who, Rocky?
A.K. Kessack. See you later, Drina.
Where are you going, Rocky?
Now get your gun back. I wasn't willing to concede even the first round to A.K. Kessack, but right then it looked like she'd scored all the points. Why she had slipped the gun out of my pocket was something I wanted to find out quick. This time, no one tried to stop me at the bungalow, and the door was unlocked.
Come in, Rocky. Close the door.
It was A.K. Kessack, waving me in with Drina's gun. Across the room, against the wall, stood Joshua Ship, beads of sweat dripping from his wax mustache. From where I stood, my little plan had backfired right in my face.
I I knew you'd come back, Rocky.
Don't let me interrupt an argument.
Oh, you won't. We'll settle it, the argument, very shortly.
Jordan, talk to her. Tell her she can't do this. Please, Jordan.
Stop crying, Joshua.
Better brief me, AK.
Very simple, Rocky. I'm going to kill him.
No, my dear, no.
Just like you killed Aaron Shape? I think I know why.
I'm through with him. He's getting too big, giving me too much trouble. You see, I don't think he likes you, Rocky.
You don't need much reason, do you? What makes you think you can get away with this? You can't just shoot.
Can't I? You see this gun, Rocky? Only 2 people have any motive to kill Joshua. You and Rena. This is her gun. You took it from her. Do I make myself clear?
Sure. You can lay the blame on either one or both of us.
Not necessarily. You can both keep quiet. We'll dump Joshua's ship in the Nile.
AK, my dear, you can't do
And
this
no
to me.
one will be the wiser. Will they, Rocky? Well, make up your mind.
I can't speak for Drina.
Then bring her here. Go to the phone there and call her. Tell her to come at once. But be careful. I never hesitate when it is necessary to kill.
That an order?
AK always gives the orders. Call Drain at once.
Give me Drina Ritar. Hello, Drina. Rocky Jordan. Listen, I'm at 394 Esbekia Place, Bungalow 6. Got that? Yeah, I've got to see you right away. It's very important. Don't ask questions. Just come right over. Yes, right away, Drina. Goodbye.
Thank you, Rocky. Now we have a little wait. Then it will be all over.
What then?
Just you and me, Rocky.
Yeah, but for how long?
Until I'm tired of you.
I'm tired of you already.
There isn't much you can do about it. Is there, Rocky?
You're listening to Everything Shipshape, tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan. There are more treats for CBS listeners on Tuesday night, when you'll find as many chuckles as clues on the Mr. and Mrs. North program. Meet Jerry and Pamela North at 8:30 Tuesday night. Yes, you'll find mystery better on CBS. Now we take you back to Cairo and tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan. Everything Shipshape.
A.K. Kessack held the gun with a right hand and an Egyptian cigarette with the other. We waited for Drina to arrive. There wasn't much doubt in Joshua's ship's mind, or mine, what would happen once Drina got there. A.K. was lighting her 4th cigarette when the buzzer sounded.
Rocky, ask who it is.
AK, my dear, for the last time, I beg you.
Quiet. Go on, Rocky, quick.
Who is it?
It's Trina, Rocky.
No. Tell her to come in.
Come in, Drina.
No! No!
Stand still, Drina, don't move.
Rocky, she's killed him.
Surely you're not sorry, Drina. You wanted Joshua's ship dead, so I took care of it with the last 2 bullets in your gun. Here. Pick it up.
Most charming confession, Miss Kessack.
What?
Come in, Sam.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the scene of a murder for a change.
So, Drina, you brought the police here. You little
Do not
tramp.
move, Miss Kessack. It is I who hold a gun now. Greco, Ali, take care of this man quickly.
I should have killed Drina, too.
Let us have it understood, Miss Kessack. I did not bring the police, but I knew they would be following me. And for once, I didn't mind.
I'm quite sure Jordan knew I was following you, too.
That's right, Sam. But it's okay now, Drina. They won't be tailing you anymore.
Jordan, the next time perhaps you will be kind enough to tell me of these things beforehand. You might have prevented a murder.
You know, Sam, you're absolutely right. Well, the way things worked out, A.K. Kessack figured 2 more murder raps were no worse than one, so she finally confessed to the killing of Aaron Shape. I now have a standing invitation to visit Drina and her husband at their waterfront cafe in Beirut. Oh, about my tambourine. I decided to let the phony sale stand. Anyhow, the $40,000 in the bank was mine, so I bought the tambourine back from AK for half that amount. She didn't care. For me, 20,000 profit for the day wasn't bad. You know, looking back, it's been quite some time since I made anything out of one of these deals.
It's CBS again at the same time next week for another story of adventure and intrigue when we take you back to Cairo and the Cafe Tambourine run by Rocky Jordan. Jack Moyles plays the title role with tonight's story by Gomer Kuhl and Larry Roman. Rocky Jordan is produced and directed by Cliff Howell with original music by Richard Arant. Larry Thor speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Hi, this is Andrew from OTRWesterns.com. I wanted to invite you to come take a look at our site where we put out podcasts of old-time radio westerns. Check us out at OTRWesterns.com. You're listening to The Great Detectives of Old-Time Radio with Adam Graham. Now let's get back into the show.
Welcome back. Well, when Rocky Jordan gets a financial payout from an adventure, he gets a payout. But that's okay. Most of these cases, as Rocky said, he hasn't been getting anything for. This was an interesting scheme. I do think that their actions when Rocky decided not play ball were a little silly, because after all, with Rocky's reputation, which is the thing they're banking on, he could easily go to the police, and he would have done so, but for wanting to help out the lady whose husband was in prison. And of course, Rocky does get even with an ultimate power play. By allowing the transaction to go through, he left our villainess with the tambourine. However, at that point, the ownership of the Cafe Tambourine wasn't going to do any good, but $20,000 in cash could give her money to hire a lawyer to stave off the death penalty. Now to listener comments and feedback, and Joey writes in regarding episode 2579. As a father and husband, that was depressing. Also, the actor who played Ted, I know I've heard on Dragnet, usually playing the bad guy. Could you please tell me his name and what he has played in? Thanks, Adam. His identity did not stand out to me. I'm sorry. And yeah, I think I'm going to get asked those questions a lot over the next year and a half, because there are quite a few familiar character actors who appear in Rocky Jordan, but without cast list. And I guess I would say that one of the big challenges is that many of the really good character actors, you couldn't always just tell, oh, that's that guy. But they did such a good job creating their characters that you really can struggle to identify who they are. So I hope that wasn't too lame, but yeah, I'm sorry, I do not know on that one who played Ted. And then have a comment regarding episode 2561 from Amy, who says, sorry I'm a bit behind, but this is my favorite episode of Rocky Jordan so far. The acting and script actually made me care for the victim and his wife. Thanks for all the hard work. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your comments, Amy, and that will do it for today. Join us back here tomorrow for Boston Blackie, and then we'll be back next Wednesday with another episode of Rocky Jordan. In the meantime, send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and become one of our friends on Facebook. Facebook.com/Radio Detectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.